In this short video, we're going to give you an introduction to the interface used in Vectric software programs. We're going to show you how to navigate your way around the program to get you started, and there are differences between the different products depending on what features are available, but the interface itself is pretty consistent throughout. Now, for demonstration purposes, we're going to look at using a single version of one of the products here to show you around the user interface. Now, when you first open the software, you'll be presented with this startup screen. We've got a panel on the left that has different options for us to choose from. So the first section enables us to start up a file where we can create a new file, we can open a file from a template, or we can open an existing file from a location that we may have saved a file out to previously. Then the software will display 4 recently opened files, and you can see that those are displayed there, and if you click on one of those, that will open up the file. We have a video tutorials section, and so here you can access the tutorial browser to watch the Vectric video tutorials. And then here, if you've installed the actual tutorial files, you can open the tutorial files folder where you can then open up files that have been included in some of the tutorials. Next section, we've got online resources. So this is where you can access your V&Co account. So you can go in there to download your software or download any clip art or download any free projects that Vectric may have provided. You can access the Vectric website, the support site, and the Vectric forum. And then finally at the bottom, we've got links to our social media channels. So we've got Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So in order to start a brand new file, you can simply go and use the option here to create a new file, where you'll first be presented with the job setup form, and this is where you set up your project according to different file types, whether that's a single-sided job, double-sided, or a rotary job. Here you enter the dimensions of the project that you want to create, set where your Z0 position is and your XY datum position. If you are using VCarve or Aspire, you'll have access to the modeling resolution where you can set that from this drop down option here. And then you've got the material settings, which enables you to choose the appearance that you'll see in the 3D view. At the moment we can see it's currently set to Canadian maple, and then once you're happy with that, you could go ahead and press OK. In this case, I'm actually going to cancel out and we're going to look at opening a pre-created file. So I'm just going to use the cancel option here. Then we're going to go and open an existing file, and I'm going to open this Conrod file. So when you start a new job or you open a file, by default you'll see what you see on the screen here. So you'll see your design tab over on the left hand side, and then your main view will be this 2D view, which is visible in this main window that we've got here. So we have drop down menus at the top here that we always have access to, and if you click on any one of these, then the menu cascades down from the top relevant to the word that's been clicked, and some items might have an arrow on that will create a sub menu where you've got lots of different choices. Now they're all fairly self-explanatory, and you will see these menus being used from time to time throughout the video tutorials. Now, the majority of the time you're going to access functions of the software using what we call tabs and icons that appear on those tabs. So over on the left hand side we've got what we call our design tab. Okay, and when I hover over any of these icons, you can see they're highlighted. I have a tooltip to tell me what the function does. And so you can click on any of the tools to open that operation. So we'll just close out here. So in all Vectric programs, you will have at least 3 tabs. So we're currently in the Design tab. You've also got access to Layers and the Sheets tab for working with 2D data. And then programs that support 3D models, so VCarve Desktop, VCarve Pro and Aspire, you'll have access to 2 additional tabs, the Components tab and the Clip Art tab. In addition to those tabs, all software products will have access to the Toolpath tab on the right hand side of your program, which we'll come back to shortly. So going back to the design side of things, so your design tab, this enables you to create your design, whether that's 2D or if you've got VCarve or Aspire, you can manipulate and create 3D parts as well. You've got a Sheets tab that enables you to organise your sheets, create sheets, edit sheets. You've got your Layers tab that enables you to organise your 2D data onto layers. You've got your Components tab, and so this is where if you were using VCarve or Aspire, when you create 3D data, they are stored in what we call the component tree, which you can access within this tab. Then we've got the Clip Art tab, which enables users of VCarve and Aspire to access the free clip art that they get with their software. If you have a large enough monitor, you'll always see your job dimensions displayed here within your Design tab. So you'll go ahead and use various tools from the Design tab in order for you to create your design. And once you're done with your design, that's when you need to move over to the Toolpath tab. Now there's several ways to do this. You could come over and you could click on the tab and then pin that open like so to access that. You could unpin that and it will hide that away. Alternatively, we can use this icon over here and then that will switch to the Toolpath, so it's going to temporarily close the Design tab and then it's going to open up the Toolpaths tab over on the right hand side. Alternatively, you could use F11 and F12 as your shortcut keys, so F11 for the Design tab, F12 for the Toolpaths tab. And then when you come over to your Design tab, you can still hover over any one of these tabs and you'll see that it will just temporarily pop out for you to have a quick glance. And again, if you do want that pinned open, you could just go ahead and use that pin option. In this case, we're just going to unset that. So the middle part of our interface is where we see and create and edit our design, and this is split between the 2D view and the 3D view. So currently we are looking at the 2D view. You can see that tab here, and if I switch to the 3D view, you can see that we're able to see the 3D view also. We can see the vectors appearing on our 3D view as well. So going back to the 2D view, we have options to toggle various elements. So for example, if we had 3D parts, we could toggle the visibility of that on or off. We have the option to toggle the bitmap visibility if you had a bitmap in there, and then we have options in order for us to view our toolpath strategies. So for example, if we switch on the toolpaths that we've got over here, you can see that we can turn the visibility of that off. We can switch that from a wireframe drawing to a solid 2D view if we wanted to. And then to the right hand side, we've got various options to pan, zoom in on our views over here. So let's go into the 3D view. Okay, so the 3D view is useful for us to view our toolpath previews. So for example, if we just go ahead and preview all of those toolpaths there, we're able to see the simulation of that here in our 3D view, where it's cutting into a virtual piece of material that we assign. And again, we've got various options here to control what we're able to see. So for example, if we switch our toolpaths on, we can toggle the visibility of those off. We can take a look at our X0, Y0 position. We can look at our block as a whole, like so. You can toggle on or off your modeling plane. We've got bitmaps, so you're able to view bitmaps in the 3D view, your vectors. You can see the vectors there, and then again 3D parts. If you've got 3D parts, you can toggle the visibility of those on or off, or in this case it's our toolpath preview, like so. We also have access to this view control here, so this enables us to move the control and really kind of manipulate our view, enabling us to look at our part in all sorts of angles. We can click on faces in order for us to look at particular axes, for example looking directly up the Y axis there. We could then go ahead, look at the bottom of our job. If you wanted to look down the X axis, we could then go ahead and then press the right or the left option over here, and you can just twiddle this around just by pulling and using your mouse like so. So let's just put that back to the top there. Then along the top, we've got access to the document bar. So here you can see we can switch between the 2D, the 3D view. These two icons enable us to tile our windows, so we can see both the 2D and the 3D view. So we can tile horizontally, like so, or we could tile vertically, like so. If we are working in a two-sided job, we're able to toggle between a single and a double-sided view. So at the moment we're currently looking at a view where we can see both sides of our part, but if we just wanted to see just the side we're looking at, then we can toggle that button on. We can flip between the top and bottom sides, and of course we have more tutorials that covers how to work in a two-sided job that you can find in the related videos section for this video. So you could flip back to the top side like so. Over here we have an option to access our sheets. So this is just a handy to always have access to whilst you're designing or toolpathing, where you can look at editing a sheet. You can add in new sheets if you wanted to. Likewise, you'll always have access to your layers, where here you could look at adding in a new layer, you could name the layer, and it just gives you lots of control and to easily be able to work through your design with these handy options to always have these visible within our views without having to go into the different tabs over on the left hand side. Then if you are working with 3D data, you also have access to your levels tab, and this enables you to access your component tree, where you could look at altering the combine mode of your levels or components that you may have in your job, and then access some of the functionality from the levels themselves. And then over on the right hand side over here, we've got easy access to our snap options when drawing in the software, where we can toggle on and off various settings according to what it is you are creating. A way to access certain functions in the software is through context sensitive menus. And these can be accessed through the right mouse key, and it all varies depending on the state of the part and what you've selected at a particular time. For example, if we right click in this white space here, we get a variety of choices. So context sensitive means we get a menu appropriate to a particular part we may have clicked. For example, if we select this vector and then right click on that, this is the menu we get. Then if we press N and go into node edit mode, and then we right click on one of these nodes, we get a completely different menu that's particular to the object that we was hovering over and the state that we're in, which we're currently in node edit mode. So that really completes this brief overview of the interface. Now, we haven't gone into detail on specifics of the icon and how features work. That's going to be covered in many of the tutorials, and this tutorial is intended as a quick guide to getting around the software. Thank you for watching.